Oh, welcome to our first podcast at Mycenae House Wellbeing Community. Here today we've got three of us. We've got to my to my right here is Robin. Hi, Robin.
Oh,
And to my left here we've got Dave. Hello, Rob. All right. Yep. Ah, we're gonna talk about a few subjects today, but what's one thing we're going to talk about is the high street. What we remember it back in the sort of 70s and maybe 80s or even earlier, because Robin's a more senior, or his more or
he's not was not quite. Well, yeah, 50s and 60s. He even went, isn't it?
yeah. And Dave, what's your era? You're going to talk.
Well, mainly 80s, really.
Yeah, yes, and me, I'm sort of stuck in the middle, really. Yeah. So Robin, what do you sort of what's your most clear memory of the old high?
As I said earlier, there was lots of different shops. Give us a cash. It was cash. There was no such thing as card. I
No
card.
Yeah.
Yeah, uh, cash. It was generally cash.
And it's got to be yeah, yeah,
Um,
no cash. Yeah.
I mean, what shops you mean? Like there used to be a butcher, a fish shop.
butcher's, fish shop, wet fish and that.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Don't get much of that.
yeah, butcher's.
Yeah, small retail.
Grocers.
Or what the, the fish shops you get, the butchers you get, used to have all the sawdust on the floor
Yeah.
and the proper chopper and the proper chopping stuff.
Used to have a massive break.
That was the old butchers I know, because I knew it. You should cut the meat in front of you, because I used to know. My friend was a butcher, actually, and he was in Blackheath.
Yeah.
And he said they closed down, and yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, but original butchers, like in Charlton, Woolwich, and they used to sell the food half price. 5 o'clock, you go down there, you can help yourself to trays for a fiver of meat, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
I mean,
yeah.
the thing I remember is what you talk about these small shops. I mean, you had a connection with them. They knew you by name. Go in and chat as well. It was like a proper community. Now all that's gone now.
No, it's like your paper shop, and you're just going to get a paper,
Yeah.
or your fags or whatever you get. And you always used to have a chat with the newsagent.
Yeah.
And yeah, and that was because they used to have the what was it? I tried it once. The paper boy delivering the papers to the houses in the morning before I went to school. Yes, oh yeah, you ain't got none of that. Yeah,
What's the paper?
I used to do that.
because I used to get with the milk. Yeah,
3 shillings and Bixford.
yeah. Well,
What was that? 17
yeah, on ch-
17 and a half pence.
yeah.
Now.
Oh, mate.
It's a 6.
Yeah, yeah,
I used to think it was a fortune.
yeah,
Oh, mum, I've got 3 and 6. No.
yeah.
I'll tell you one thing I do remember. I'll tell you one thing I remember is like I didn't stay open that late. And
That's right. Yeah.
yeah, and say you run out of food, we run out of milk. There used to be machines you could go
Yep.
to, hanging on the wall.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You could just get some cigarettes, from the wall. And
Yeah, yeah.
and milk, you had these machines,
And
and you could get milk out of.
Yep.
So if you run out, look at the shop shut. They used to shut around about what 5:30, 6, something like that.
sometimes, anyhow.
Up by the right. Cigarettes. I wouldn't open until 7, 8, 9. Some of these corner shops open till 10 and 11 o'clock at night.
Well, that's it. That's
As I say, we hit shops up because they were your ideal shops to go and get your now they're doing groceries in shops now, in paper shops in Cheltenham Village, and I'm thinking, wow, they're just expanding out, not just your local milk, your bread. Basically everything. It's come fruit and veg. Just when I go for my fruit and veg now, I normally go to the top soup or a supermarket and then get it there. It changes all over the years as I say, born in Greenwich. I lived in Charlton. Um, yeah, so many years, years ago, Macros, which is still there, funny enough, after all the years. But now you have so many shops that are just popping up everywhere now, and peacocks and things like that. But butchers and we was going on about it. I used to love getting my meat
Yeah.
from the butcher shop. Going to Sainsbury's now, and all the meat counters now are locked up, and you just got packets of meat now.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose occasionally you might see the odd independent now back in the day. Um, it, I don't know, it seemed to be much more friendlier shopping. No,
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
I mean, people will have busy lives, but not like. But you can have a good old chat. There you
Go
go.
in Tesco's, they're very like this, aren't they?
All this self-service and all that. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
everywhere.
slow service. I try not to go to them unless I have to.
Yeah.
Not that I can't do it, but
No, in the 80s, when you were just all the shops around your shoe shops, you don't get any shoe shops around in Power Street anymore. Be lucky if we get hardly any. But when I was growing up, obviously,
but there's quite a few shoot
yeah,
down Paris Street.
yeah, it used to be very, very
Cheap
lively.
ones and there's the dearer ones, and then there's these ones that just sort of, they don't just do trainers, but they sort of, they're sort of mostly what you see in the window trainers.
Well, there was something I remember about a shoe shop. You used to go in, and as soon as you walk through the door, you get someone coming up to you. Can I help you?
And I,
And they'll do everything for you. Today, now you just wander around.
Yeah,
But you get to get personal service. So I used to like that.
yeah, I used to like that. You'd see the muggers used to come up and ask you what you need, what you want. And now they just, just leave you alone and you just get on with what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, you might get that sort of service in really high class
Yeah.
shops and there because, well, a pair of shoes there might cost you £500.
Yeah. Here for a pair of stuff. When you're growing up in the 80s, and money was just,
It was
tight there. Yeah. And I used to go to me record shops and buy the music in the record shops. Yeah.
Yeah, that used to be nice. Go to a restaurant and you can listen to it, put your headphones on, you listen.
sometimes if you didn't have any money, you'd go in there and pretend you'd buy a record so you could hear the 80s. One by Adam Faith or Donny and Erica.
Well, I remember used to buy my first Walkman, which I think was absolutely worst thing I've seen. And they used to put you on tape in it, and your tape always gets caught, spins up, breaks. And I thought, God, yeah. And then your records, yeah, there now it's CDs.
Well, yeah, I mean, everyone used to take money.
Yeah, well, it's a radio one, please. God, yeah. Yeah, I brought up the Siren Bates, Tony Blackburn on Radio 1, yeah.
He's still alive.
I don't know. Yeah, but it's good, yeah, but, when you want to look at, when you're going back to what it is, and it's, and you think, oh, yeah, we used to work here, work there, work here, and you just used to walk out of one job, walk into another job.
Another one, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big thing now.
Yeah.
The difference in getting a job back in the 70s, 80s. I mean,
Yeah.
the 80s was a tough time for,
Yeah.
getting a job, but you could have a job, and if you didn't like it, say goodbye, and you just walk in and get another job.
Yeah.
Today is completely different. I mean, now you've got trained people have gone to university, got people trained like doctors, uh, other sort of professional areas where they're highly trained, but the jobs are not out there because of the way the economy's going at the moment.
That's right.
That in the health service, for example, they haven't got the posts. They've got all these trained doctors out there, but they haven't got the posts and a boom.
Yeah.
Oh, they're doubling posts. The GPs, we've always moaning about, well, we haven't got enough GPs. It's really hard to get an appointment. But the posts are not there. Suddenly, if the posts are not there, and what's happening now when you're getting doctors that are going abroad, because they can't get nerves here. So we're training all these professionals up, yeah, and then just go to ball. I mean, we've got to do something about the not providing the vacancy. None of these people, you know.
Yeah, it was strange when you look at doctors and they're saying, you know, we can't give you this appointment, that appointment, this appointment. I remember when I used to go to the doctors in the 80s, it was nothing but this, like, doing everything online now, which they want, which is everything online. I want you to do this online, that online, and I'm thinking, you know, I'm not alone. I think there must be a few people like that that can't do anything on the internet.
Yeah, because everything's done on the internet. I mean, you have to do everything online today now. I mean, you know, occasionally you might be able to talk to someone. If you get stuck, you might be able to talk to someone by phone. But now it's really difficult to actually talk to a human being.
Yeah,
And they do this online chat thing now,
yeah, which makes you mobile.
really frustrates me because you trying to type in a sentence and then you run out of time and then it cuts out and you use it and you've got to start it all over again. So you oh my God.
Yeah, it is true. Yeah,
A nightmare.
it is frustrating for some people.
Oh yeah. I mean, the other big thing that's changed, isn't it? The banks all being out.
Thanks now.
Oh no. You know,
Because
that is a nightmare.
there were so many banks in the high street, and before they were taken away, Barclays now in Blackheath Standard is now like one of these function bar things. You know, with yeah, then I was
It's not grassy bad, but it's a black hoof.
yeah, it's not gonna let it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Because my daughter keeps saying, why don't you go in there? She knows the people who run it.
Oh what?
They live 100% away, somewhere near her. So knows it. She said, why don't you and Tim go? I say, well, we'd have to get a bus there to get it. Because we'd be drinking, so we couldn't go in.
Yeah.
I said, I haven't got a car anymore, can I? So I can't go there.
You would be drinking, well, exactly. Yeah. I mean, you're
Well,
able.
you can, you can go into a pub. You can go into a pub there and have a coffee.
Yeah. I mean,
It seems funny joining the pub then the coffee. Yeah, you can do it, can't
only
you?
thing that's China's going back years. There's loads of pubs. Yeah.
Oh, you know, yeah.
But now that so many are closing down, you get very few, and they all serve food now. So yes, they to survive. That's right. I think there's pubs shutting every week in this. Yeah, it's a shame, really, because it's
There is, isn't it?
And you look at vehicles today. I remember used to get in the long seat in the van, and they never had things like seat belts in those days, did they?
oh, look.
And I'm thinking, well, I'm holding on to here, you know, while you're being jerked around in a van or a car. And because they used to be them big long seats, didn't they? Yeah, like where you have two seats now, it's just one big long seat, wasn't it, at a time?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember going out with my mates on Stadlos. We used to have had this band there, or transit or something. We all used to pile in the back. Those seats already. It was that's so ridiculous. Yeah, I know. I tell you, once I mean, we moved out of our heads, we were really drunk. And not particular because we had no seats in the back, and we stumbled a few chairs. Oh, you know, what I mean, you stood there for, you know, especially the ones that could put on this clean spec. Oh, no, it was really naughty. I learned to going back to a long time now. But
You read the confessions that were.
Yeah. They were big though, you know, used to be mate, he had a mini minor when he was about 17, 18 in the 80s, and, you know, it was just all the cars are so different now.
yeah,
Lucky for me, I didn't learn to drive because there's too many lunatics on the street now to
yeah,
cut you up. And I think there's too many cars coming on the road, and all you see now are people learning to drive.
yeah, it's like, you know, what it is now, you crazy, these electric bikes that bob around doing, they could do 40, 50 miles an hour, some of these bikes.
Yep.
And they don't take any notice of the rules of the road or traffic lights or anything
They
like.
don't stop for traffic lights.
Oh, sure. And then you've got the scooters as well. You see these scooters? Yeah. And they're going round and they've got these hoodies on. Yeah, the balaclavas on.
Mm.
They're all dressed in black. You can't see them.
No.
I mean, God,
The
so
electric
busy.
ones, they don't even have the freaking lights on, do they? I know,
No.
it's running their battery down, I suppose. That's
Yeah.
out of order, isn't it? They don't panic
Dangerous, isn't it?
hats or insurance or nothing.
What
They-
the really doing?
See, that's
If they knock someone over,
that's another thing. Back in our day, right, we used to respect the police, and yeah, we're scared of the police until a point. Oh, they'd be on the streets, didn't you? You had to be on the streets, yeah, and you could even drive as a kid driving on the pavement. You get told off. You can't
Yeah.
whack on the pavement.
me and my mate was having a race down to Woolwich, down, it comes all the way downhill going to Woolwich down, then it from the barracks, you're downhill and
Oh, yeah.
it was belting it. We had both had the drop handlebars, 5 rail and Ralia gears about 4. Anyway, we was belting as fast as we could go, and we went straight, couldn't stop for the it's a push bike brakes. Yeah, straight for the lights. We ended up down in Bereford Square, see? So anyway, our bills come flying down after us. Stops us at, we thought, oh, we've got it for you. So he says, who do you think? He started being funny. He goes, who do you think you are? Like the local, the latest Tour de France rider. You know what I mean? You think you're in the Tour de France? He's going. We thought we was going to get a rollicking, and instead of that, he just made a joke of it. And then he said, seriously, though, he said, I'll nick you
Yeah.
more than 30 miles an hour.
Oh yeah.
The best, yeah.
At least you're not there now, are they?
No.
If they put hand on the police, they're always in their cars. I mean, very cases. Yeah, talking about. There's no terror there. What squeaking utter or crime as such.
Yeah.
I mean, I think crime's worse than it back in.
Yes.
You know, I mean,
Well,
especially knife crime. We guys.
Yeah, you never got that.
is
You never got
did it?
You never got that in like our age. In our days, there were no. You never even heard of a knife attack or a gun attack, did it? Really?
Yeah.
Well, well, what about the Teddy boys? They used to have my family.
Yeah.
Because I remember going up to Blackheath
Yeah.
Fair, and there was this big gang, and I used to know one of these blokes. He used to be a bit crazy.
Yeah.
That's why we said he's not joining our gang.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're filled with stuff. Yeah.
And he was up there, and he had this knife, and he was threatening people with it, and I thought, that was just well, I knew it. I sort of partly knew him, so he didn't bother me.
It's like when I used to work at Airfix at Cheltenham, all those years ago, and you used to always see the old police cars. Is it the Rovers there with the little light on the top? Yeah. Anyway, she used to like follow me off home, and I think I've just finished work, so I've got nothing to worry about. And so, nothing apart from that was all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say, remember, because, the days of the Sweeney, when you saw all the cars they use, the escorts and things like that. Yeah, you don't see any cars like that anymore on the road, the Capris and anything. Yeah, these are like cars I was growing up with.
Yeah.
Well, I was F4s, F6 and all that. Yeah, all that.
I mean, always move on, don't they?
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, thing is now, well, honestly, the police, the police are not present. So there's no, there doesn't seem to be consequences now.
No,
In the high street. I mean, you get a lot of this theft now, didn't you? But they call shoplifting.
yes.
It's got ridiculous shoplifting, isn't it? It's got
Still shoplifters don't report it because they know the police ain't going to come.
Oh,
Or they might come a couple of hours out, like.
because I found my sisters in a couple of weeks back, and the police said they will not arrest anybody unless it's over £50. That's the truth, yeah. They won't, because it'd be wasting their time. Yeah, unless it's £50 or over, the police won't do nothing about it.
I mean, that's the thing about modern life. That there's not consequences now. I mean, we haven't got capacity to deal with it all. That's the issue, and people get away with it because if they were caught more, they wouldn't. I mean, the biggest thing there was phone theft, isn't it?
Yeah,
I stay
yeah,
all the time there, and I know the police are trying to crack down on it.
yeah.
But,
Well,
you know,
that's what you get is with like these scams. People just ring you up. I'm from such and such, and I just put it down there because I know the banks will not phone you,
yeah,
and then they try and trick you.
yeah,
These scammers,
yeah.
what's your PIN number? Right, I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah. The other big thing about today, I'll tell you, where it was compared to years ago, you could actually get a job, buy a house.
Mm.
Today, the young people now got no job because because
No,
all the council houses were sold off. They didn't rebuild them because the receipts went straight into the treasury. The councils weren't allowed to replace them. No, so now there's a massive shortage of houses, so push the price up. So it's virtually impossible for a young couple now to get a place.
yeah, because
So there's stuff at home into their 20s and 30s. They can't afford to get a place. I mean, that's a big change in society.
yeah, I know, yeah,
Because I do feel for the youngsters there. Yeah, because, unless you got at mum and dad's bank, you
yeah.
got rich parents and that, you can't get on the house.
Well, this is it.
More and more people are homeless now.
No,
The
anyway,
streets.
well, that's the
No.
worst thing about it is the homelessness.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, I know, because I've been there and done it. I was sorry for a while, yeah.
God.
Yeah, I used to be on the streets in Woolwich, where I lived in Cardwell Estate. And that's was sadly when I was in the squat up there and I fell off that balcony. And that's when yeah, because now people were just, they're just finding it really hard to get a job now or
Yeah.
pay for their whatever they want to pay for.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, the thing is that a lot of the jobs now, they keep saying about getting people back into work. Jobs and I mean, there is jobs out there, but we haven't got there isn't the jobs like it was when we were young. There was more and more jobs, but yeah, variety, you could come do. But now there's very few vacancies, and you get to people applying for one job.
Yeah.
In fact, even working in a supermarket now, not a Sainsbury's. There's so many people apply to work in these jobs.
So, and they're not really, and they're not retail, yeah, and they're not paying the actual wages, are they?
I had a spate where I'd go home on the Friday and say, I was married by then, but I used to go home on the Friday night and say, I'll give him notice that job that was getting on my nerves. It wasn't paying a lot, and she'd have a go at me, and I was go down the labour. Used to be able to go down the labour exchange.
Yeah, that's it.
And get another job.
Yeah, this is Space Rate in Woolwich was the old one, wasn't it?
Yeah, go down there, get another job, and yeah, oh man,
I remember when I was getting, well,
yeah, I think they have to do all these tests. Do
yeah,
they get a job?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's much harder to get.
I mean, it's if you told them you had 16 GCEs, they'd binge.
yeah.
Did they?
It was how, I mean, but when I was signing on from the Space Trade, I was getting £11 a week. That was a lot of money then.
Oh, Robbie, what was your when was that? Yeah,
Yeah, he's,
I can't remember because I had a spell between leaving the buses
yeah.
Oh, well, tell us about
and
your
I said, because it was early one week and getting up at the crack of dawn one week,
Yeah.
and then the next week getting home at 2 o'clock in the morning or something. I said I'll have a year out. Got another job, and I did.
So what about the buses today and the buses when your day and the buses now? What has it changed?
They just seem to get. I mean, the kids. I can't tell how old these kids are. They just seem to going on the bus. They don't even show a pass. They don't even put a pass into that. They just get strong on as if they own it.
Yeah. Yeah, your day must have been when they had bus conductors and things like that. But
So bus conductors, what you do in that day? Did they listen more to you in them days or?
Well, it was a bit hard sometimes. I mean, I can think of two different incidents, and one instance was I was on the 53 road. We talked about
Mm.
we come round onto the first stop at the Elephant and Castle, and it was St Patrick's night, or it had been St Patrick's Day, and all these Irish boys, well, youths and females and males got on, and I thought there's going to be trouble here. They ain't going to pay their fare. Still, that is over 40 pence fee or whatever it was, 40 pence fee. They all paid. Yeah. And yet another time, late at night, we're coming on our last run from Bumpsy Common back to New Cross Garage. Right, we got down to Woolwich, and there used to be this club called the Black Cat Club in I think it was in Burford Square, and it was all kids. So about 40 of them all got on. And I thought, I'm going to have trouble here. They've all gone upstairs. So I've gone up there. So one of them pretends he's asleep. The other say, he'll pay, yeah, around the top. I said, oh, fuck you. Got mad on the platform. Gone round and told me driver what's happening. Oh, it's our last run. He says, you don't want to get your head kicked in, do you? Just stay in the way with it. So anyway, I went back on the back and ding and all that. We went again.
Yeah. Oh,
Then they all got off as you go down Blackheathville. We got stopped at the lights.
Yeah.
And you go left, go to Lewisham, or right into Greenwich, isn't it? The lights. I think there's a pub called the Coach opposite near it.
Yeah. Oh no.
I left them crossroads there. So they all come down and got off at the red light. And they're going, no, we weren't really asleep. I said, oh, no, you wasn't. But I said, there's 40 of you and only one of me. Says, I'm not feeling that right.
I was biggest culprit for that, making out you were asleep, and I used to tap you on the shoulder.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of them, though, who had passes, they said, oh, we remember you from our school days, because they used to have a pass, didn't it? And it used to say, if you was getting on at, say, standard Blackheath, say, going to Woolwich, it'd say standard Blackheath to Woolwich, and you'd only be able to use that Monday to Friday, because Saturday they knew there was no school, so you shouldn't really use it, so you had to pay it at weekends and but now they get on and off. Don't even bother to show anything to the driver. They tell you at like when you're learning to drive at that, and the instructors tell you don't don't get any extra hassle on you. I agree with people that
Yeah.
do shit they gotta do.
Oh, I mean, that's the thing about society now is people they not confronting. No, just get a mouthful now. You've got people.
Yeah,
They'll be sort of pretty strong to take on something. People, they
yeah.
they behave really really badly, and I mean, what's the word? Um,
Yeah.
Antisocial.
Antisocial. That's antisocial. Social behaviour. But it's getting worse, isn't it? I mean, years. There's no consequences.
No.
That's the thing, and people think they can do and say what they like now. As
I used to love going to school on a bus. It was the old route masters, and used to jump off the bus,
Oh,
That it was, oh, God.
that's one thing you could do in them days. Yeah, that was the basket and jump on.
That was another thing. Oh, yeah. Remember there was a spell, I can't remember if it was 60, 70. There was a spell where everybody went round and run the skate. So we oh, that's right. I was on the 177 route as well. It goes from uh Thamesmead, comes through Woolwich, and it goes to Peckham now. But
That's it.
in those days, it used to go up the old Coke Road, stop at the Elephant. So right, so we've just left the stand, but we stand a bit further up, come on to the first stop, and I've rung the bell to go, and this crowd of kids come and grabbed hold of the main
Yeah, the rail,
the rail and that, and
Yeah.
getting dragged along it. So I'm going, get.
Papa, he was a bus driver.
I'm pretending to kick him, but I'm thinking I better not really kick him.
No.
Because there's going to be consequences, as you know.
Yeah, my mate used to hate stopping for kids. He used to put out of service And then when the bus went past him, he used to put it back in service. He used to wait picking up school kids.
Well, I got a bloke down that my street. He's like Hell's Angel, and he's got one of them
Trikes.
triplex. Yeah. So I walked past him the other day, and I saw it, and he said to me, he used to be a bus driver out of Catford Garage. Now, I couldn't see him being a bus driver because he's really rough and ready, really bad. And anyway, he said what he used to do if people rang the bell too much, you know, now how it comes up bus stopping, but they still ring. Each one's got to ring the bell, and
Yeah.
so he said that used to get on his nerves. So if it was the rush hour and they were going to work, to go far as there, he'd bossed up and decide he's got to stop there for 5 minutes and all this sort of thing. He got late for work. That's what he reckoned.
Yeah.
So how long did you do that for? So 5 years.
Yeah.
I thought, lucky you got away with it for 5 years, hadn't it?
Oh, mate, yeah. It's crackers, mate. Oh, it's hell.
Yeah, so things have changed a lot in it over the years, from shopping, from the high street, jobs.
Life has changed so much in my lifetime, and I'm only 63 now. So it has come up. Buses, cars, people, everyone changes over the years. I think that's really it. Yeah.
Has changed a lot. I mean, do you know what I think? Life's got better in some ways, and it's got worse in other ones. So, I think we're going backwards in some ways as well.
I always thought this country was going well backwards, and it's like going back into the dark ages, isn't it? Well, it's not bad as that. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, but you know what I mean.
I know.
Not the good times that we once knew. Still got electricity. Yeah, well,
Was it the 80s when the electric went off?
Oh yeah, that was
Everybody was on strike and that, wasn't they?
winter of content. Something.
Yeah,
Well,
winter of discontent.
yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
when all the miners went on strike didn't they? And then it must have been before. Yeah, we all had our haircuts, didn't we?
We know. Oh, we're not supposed to bring politics in it. So I better not say about Al Thatcher.
Yeah, well,
My mate, he's from Sunderland and Nottingham, he's the other mate. And they all used to be so regular and reliable with the coalman delivering your coal in the mornings. I used to, me and my dad, God bless him, when he was alive, wait for the old coalman to come down and put it down the old, put it down the shirt. Yeah,
I was carrying it on the
yes, that's it.
We lived next door to Coleman and Shatton Road, Charlton.
Because when my old brother-in-law now he's retired, obviously, that's when the real dustmen were about. But they used to put the bins on their shoulder. Now they're just all these wheelie bins now, isn't it? That is still although, yeah.
Still hard work.
Well, when he used to just put the big metal bins on his
Yeah,
head.
I shall remember it. I can see it now. And your bins, you didn't have to put your bins out. They used to go around the back of your house and pick them up.
Right, yeah,
Now, if you don't put your bins out, that's it. They don't get collected.
But they said if your bins are open, they're going to refuse to empty it.
And you've got the wrong stuff in the bin.
Yep.
It's all covered.
Yeah, a big sticker on it.
Well, they've done it to him.
Red sticker, yeah.
Red sticker on them or whatever.
Yeah, should come into my place. Yeah, lovely things they put in now.
Yeah, so we've covered a few subjects here. Yeah, it's, could go on and on.
Yeah.
Couldn't we, Joe?
We could talk forever.
Yeah,
It's all forever. It's
Christmas.
You've got nuts.
Yeah. Weather's been terrible. Golden is
Our first podcast from
my
Mycenae.
Mycenae.
I was trying to get the word bossy. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like Mycenae house. Wellbeing. Wellbeing. That really, yeah, whatever. That's where we're talking from today. No, and hopefully everyone's in. We'll have another one of these podcasts, and we're hopefully, if you're interested, you could listen to us again.
Yes, absolutely.
So,
We're famous.
yeah. Okay, well, goodbye from
Robin.
Goodbye from Dave.
and goodbye from Tim. Bye bye.
Bye. See you later, guys.